Esselamu aleyküm ve rahmetullahi ve berekatüh. Sevgili kardeşlerim,
My dear brothers and sisters, friends of my life, friends of my heart,
Allah'a sonsuz hamd ve şükrederiz ki
I thank and praise Allah Ta'ala countless times that one more time we are all together at another discourse.
muradımız hep Allah'ın zikri.
What we are willing to do is always to talk about Allah, to do zikr of Allah.
Biz Allah'a hayranız.
I admire Allah.
Hoşlanmak,
To like, to love,
olmak
to fall in love,
ve
and to admire.
bunlar birbirinin arkasından gelen daha üst boyutta sevmenin isimleri.
These are the names of loving one after another, which goes higher and higher.
Hayranım.
I admire Allah.
Sevmek o kadar güzel bir şey ki
To love is a great feeling, my dear brothers and sisters.
bir insanın mutluluğu geniş ölçekli bir dizaynda
In a greater spectrum, the happiness of an individual is based on his or her loving.
mutlu olamazlar.
Those who hate cannot be happy.
Onlar mutluluğu hiç
Those are the ones who will never be able to experience happiness and joy.
mutluluğu yaşarlar.
Those who love, they experience happiness and joy.
Allah'ı sevmeyi de muhtevasına alan
To love, on the other hand,
önemli
is the most important concept of the universe, including loving Allah.
hoşlanırsınız, seversiniz.
First you like, then you love, then you fall in love,
Neticede
and finally you admire.
işte Allah Teala bize öyle şeyler öğretti ki
Allah Ta'ala taught me such things that I admire Allah.
bu sevmenin çok ötesinde bir olay.
This concept is way beyond falling in love. My dear brothers and sisters, everybody is willing to be happy.
Ama insanlara baktığınız zaman onların hep mutsuz olduğunu,
But when you take a look at the people, you realize that they are pretty much all unhappy.
neden?
Why is that?
Çünkü sevmenin kanunlarını bilmiyorlar.
Because they do not know the rules of loving.
Kardeşlerim, nefretle karışık bir sevgi,
My dear brothers and sisters,
sevgi değildir.
love that is mixed with hatred is not love anymore.
Sevmek fiilinin muhtevasını nefret eden kişi
The individual who hates cannot go through the real meaning of love. To love is joy and happiness. To love is feeling that comfort and peace.
öyle bir şeydir ki
To love is such a concept that
haykırmak gelir.
the individual feels like screaming.
Ey yüce Allah'ım, ben seni seviyorum, çok seviyorum diye
To say, Almighty Allah, I love you very much. The individual feels like screaming that to everyone, my dear brothers and sisters.
gerek yok.
Of course, they are not necessary,
Sizin sözlerinize bakmaz.
because Allah Ta'ala wouldn't listen to what you are uttering.
Manalar Allah için
The meanings of your words are not really important for Allah.
ama burası
But right here,
siz,
your heart.
kalbiniz ne söylüyor?
What is it that your heart telling to Allah?
Allah Teala herkeste hangi seviyede varsa net olarak
Whatever is in your heart, Allah Ta'ala clearly sees and knows that.
aşkların en büyüğü Allah'a karşı duyulan aşktır.
The greatest love is the love that you have for Allah.
En yükseği
That is the unlimited, the highest love.
seni.
The love that will make you the happiest.
Aynıdır ki
Allah Ta'ala is such a mirror that
Aynanın öbür tarafındakini ne kadar çok severseniz
the more you love whatever is on the other side of that mirror, the more He loves you.
o kadar çok dediğim zaman aynı seviyede bir sevgiden bahsetmiyorum.
And when I say that much more, I'm not talking about equal amount of love.
Onu sevmesi
An
arasında
individual's love to Allah and Allah's love towards that individual are totally different. Allah's love is infinite,
insanlar
but as human beings, consequently, we are only creatures.
Allah Teala bizleri halk etmiş.
Allah Ta'ala had created us,
Desek azdır ki
and it is not enough how much we thank and praise Allah that Allah created us as a human being.
yaratmak anlamına geliyor. İşte Allah Teala bizleri yaratmış sevgili kardeşlerim.
And as we are today, it is because Allah Ta'ala created us and created us as human beings.
Allah'a en yakın mahluklar bizleriz.
Therefore, we are the closest creatures to Allah in the universe. In what way? Because as soon as we are born,
Bize ruhundan üfürmüş.
Allah Ta'ala blows into each and every one of us from His Spirit.
İçine Allah
Whoever is created as a human being, Allah Ta'ala certainly blows into them from His own Spirit.
Teala'nın şeklini alan
The Spirit
ruh
takes the shape of that individual, remains in that body.
terk edebilir.
Spirit may leave the physical body anytime it wishes, and may go anywhere it wishes as well,
Dönüp o vücuda girebilir.
and may return back and get into that body again, and you wouldn't even feel that.
Sevgili kardeşlerim,
My dear brothers and sisters,
burası şakaydı tabii. Ruh ayrıldığına göre elbette kendisinin ayrılıp ayrılmadığını en iyi
when the Spirit leaves, you wouldn't even have a clue, nor when it returns back.
bir insan için Allah Teala'nın hedef gösterdiği en önemli husus
The most important thing that Allah wants for human beings is their happiness.
mahlukunu mutlu olsun.
Allah Ta'ala created human beings for their own happiness and joy.
Denge içinde ona dünyada
And within a balance, Allah gave life to that individual in this planet Earth. What is the balance? You have a soul 100% full of vices. You have a spirit 100% full of righteousness. There is a total balance.
birisi ötekinin üzerinde değil. Eşit
One is not more than the other. There is equal balance.
ve onun güzellikleri
On one side, Allah and His beautiful notions. On the other hand, Satan and his nastiness.
nefret, kin,
Hatred,
öfke,
grudge,
intikam.
anger, vengeance.
Allah Teala'nın dizaynı içinde
Within the design of Allah,
ruhumuzun standartlarına tam ters düşen hususlar.
these are the concepts totally against our spirit. Our spirit, on the other hand, has love,
İçimizde nefret söz konusudur.
as there is hatred in our soul.
Öyleyse ruhumuzun hasletleri söz konusu.
Therefore, there are righteousness in our spirit, yet there are vices in our soul.
İnsanlar hayat adı verilen bir standart içinde yaşarız.
As human beings, we live through our lives.
Ömrü
Whatever our life is,
standartları içinde
we live through that many years as human beings.
ve Allah Teala'ya ne kadar hamd
And it is not enough how much we thank and praise Allah Ta'ala because He created us as human beings.
ruhundan üfürmek ve bu ruhu
In other words, gave us the honor to blow into us from His Spirit, giving that to us.
biz insanlara yaptığı en büyük
That is the greatest favor of Allah upon us.
sevgili kardeşlerim
My dear brothers and sisters,
bunu sadece insan taşır.
only the human being has the spirit of Allah.
Hayvanlarda,
Neither
köpeklerde,
animals nor angels have the spirit of Allah.
öyleyse sevgili kardeşlerim,
My dear brothers and sisters,
ruh bu kadar önemli mi?
is the spirit that important?
İnsanlara has bir müessese olduğu için önemli.
Well, it is important because it is only for human beings. That's why it's important. That's one.
Neticede Allah'a geri dönecek olan bir emaneti bünyesinde taşımak şerefine ulaştığı için
And it is important because the human being has the
bir olay
honor to have something that will return back to Allah. That is only for human beings, my dear brothers and sisters.
yaratıldık.
We are all created as human beings.
Yani doğar doğmaz Allah Teala bizlere ruhundan üfürdü.
In other words, as soon as we were born, Allah Ta'ala blown into us from His Spirit. And the Spirit took the shape of our physical body immediately. And if you see your spirit, you will realize that it is exactly you.
Sevgili kardeşlerim,
My dear brothers and sisters,
ruh öyle bir varlık ki
Spirit is such a concept that
Allah Teala'ya ait.
it belongs to Allah.
İnsanlar bir ruh taşırlar ama ona hakim değil.
Human beings have the Spirit, but they cannot control it. Why cannot?
Dilediği anda vücudu terk edebilir.
Because the Spirit may leave the physical body anytime it wishes, and it may go anywhere it wishes. And again, whenever it wishes, may return back to the physical body.
İzin almak gereği
It doesn't have to receive your permission or anything like that.
sahibidir.
It is authorized to leave and come back anytime it wishes.
Ama ruh kendi standartları içinde
But within its own standards,
Allah'ın zatına
simply because the Spirit wants, it cannot return back to Allah unless the individual is
ne
dead.
zaman insanoğlu
Yet,
ecel şerbetini içerse
whenever the individual
o
dies,
vücudunu terk edecek,
then the Spirit will leave the physical body
yola çıkacak.
and will be on its path towards Allah, and it will return back to Allah.
Bütün ruhlar sahipleri olan Allah'a mutlaka geri dönecek.
All spirits will certainly return back to Allah as their only owner.
Allah Teala ruhundan üfürür,
Allah Ta'ala blows from His Spirit,
şeklinde
and the Spirit takes the shape of the individual's body.
ışıkları geçirirse
And throughout the life of the individual, whatever the individual goes through any changes, Spirit goes through same changes.
kişinin yaşlandıkça
As the individual gets older,
ve
the Spirit also gets older as the physical body.
Allah Teala neden en çok insanı seviyor?
Why does Allah Ta'ala love the human beings the most amongst all His creatures? Because He only blessed human beings, blowing into them from His Spirit.
Meleklerde,
Animals, angels,
cinlerde
jinn,
böyle bir ruhu
none of them
yapmak imkanı
has the Spirit of Allah.
sadece insana bu yetki verilmiş.
Allah Ta'ala only gave that authority to human beings.
Biz Allah'a ne kadar çok hamd etsek,
Therefore, it is not enough how much we thank and praise Allah,
Allah Teala bizleri insan
simply because, my dear brothers and sisters, Allah Ta'ala created us as human beings.
insan olarak yaratılmışız.
As we are created human beings,
İnsan olarak yaratılan bu varlıklar
and all the creatures who are created as human beings
üfürdüğü ruhu onu Allah'a geri gönderene kadar bünyelerinde taşır.
have the ability to have the Spirit till they render that back to Allah.
Kişi
Spirit automatically takes the shape of the body
çocukluğundan,
From
delikanlığından,
being a baby, being a toddler, being a child, all the way to getting old, whatever the physical body goes through, spirit goes through the same changes.
Bir insan için sevgili kardeşlerim
My dear brothers and sisters,
ve mutluluk nefsin kalbindeki afetlerin yok olma
peace and serenity for an individual is based on eliminating the vices out of the soul's heart.
%50'sini devre dışı bırakabilmişse
If the individual can eliminate 50% of the vices from the soul's heart, that shows the individual is 50% happy in this life.
o kişinin kalbindeki afetleri temizleyen tek silahtır.
Zikr is the only weapon that can eliminate vices out of the soul's heart. There are no other weapons to be able to do that.
Allah kelimesinin
You can eliminate vices out of the soul's heart as you repeat the name of Allah, saying Allah, Allah, Allah, Allah, Allah.
hedefe ulaşır. Allah kelimesi ya sesli olarak Allah, Allah,
Either
Allah diye
aloud you say Allah, Allah, or silently.
diye tekrar edilir veya ağızla kımıldamak.
Or without moving the mouth,
Ses de
without
çıkmaz.
making any sounds.
Çok hafif bir şekilde dişleri hafif aralanmak suretiyle
The individual's jaw moves slightly,
pek mümkün değildir yakından.
and that is really difficult to sense that as well, unless you get so close.
Allah kelimesini kişinin tekrarı onun nefsinin kalbine Allah'ın nurlarını
As the individual repeats the name of Allah, and
tek sebebini
names of Allah brings the glories of Allah into the soul's heart of that individual, and that is the only way to bring the glories. And Allah Ta'ala wants everybody's soul's heart
zikirde
to be filled with glories 100%. And that is only through continuous zikr.
nurlarla
With continuous zikr, the individual's heart gets filled with 100% glories of Allah.
sevgili kardeşlerim,
My dear brothers and sisters,
nurlar mutluluğunuzun simgesidir.
glories are the symbol of your happiness and joy.
Temsil olunur.
Vices are, on the other hand, are represented with darkness, and that is the symbol of your unhappiness.
İşte nefsimizin kalbindeki nurlarla mutluluk arasında
Therefore, between the glories in your soul's heart and happiness are parallel to each other.
nefsimizin kalbindeki afetlerle mutluluk arasında da tam bir terslik söz konusu.
And there is an opposite relationship between vices in the soul's heart and happiness.
Çoğalır.
The more you can eliminate vices, the more happiness you have.
Bunun tek mekanizması
And there is only one concept that can eliminate vices. That is zikr, repeating name of Allah, saying Allah, Allah, Allah,
ne sağlar?
one after another.
Allah'ın katından rahmetle faz, rahmetle
Zikr of Allah brings rahmet,
nefsimizin kalbine
fazl, and rahmet salawat.
rahmet nurları
Rahmeh is the carrier,
ama fazıllar
yet fazls, virtues,
%2 rahmet nurundan sonra nefsimizin
which accumulate in our soul's heart after 2% mercy, all the way to 98%.
lardır. %98 fazıl nuru,
98% virtues
rahmet nuru
and 2% mercy
kalbindeki nurları %100'e tamamlar.
brings the soul's heart to 100% accumulation of glories.
için
My dear brothers and sisters,
mutluluk nefsin kalbindeki nurlarla paralel bir seyir.
happiness is based on the glories in the soul's heart.
Ne kadar küfte, o kadar ekmek.
As we say, whatever the level of the glories, that is the level of your happiness. And the more zikr that you have, the more glories you accumulate in your soul's heart.
Teala'ya
Therefore, shouldn't we thank and praise Allah countless times because Allah Ta'ala makes this system work out automatically.
Biz Allah'ın ismini Allah, Allah, Allah, Allah diye zikredeceğiz.
We have to do zikr of Allah, repeating His name, saying Allah, Allah, Allah, Allah, Allah.
Kalbimizi gönderdiği nurlarla
And Allah Ta'ala fill our soul's heart with the glories He sends in.
kalbimiz tamamen
Through continuous zikr, our soul's heart will be filled with glories all the way.
sevgili kardeşlerim,
My dear brothers and sisters,
bir insan hayatını mutlu olarak da geçirebilir.
an individual may spend his or her life happy or unhappy.
Davranışlarına kalmıştır.
That is based on the behavior of the individual.
Bu yaşarlar,
There are people, they are always unhappy throughout their lives.
koparmış olanlardır.
They are the ones who have nothing to do with Allah.
İnanmayan insanların
They disconnected themselves from Allah.
dünyada yaşıyor.
We are living in a world where there are people who do not even believe in Allah, my dear brothers and sisters.
Allah Teala zikriniz hangi ölçüde artarsa o ölçüde
At whatever level your zikr increases,
sizi mutlu kılar.
that's the level Allah makes you happy.
Bu sebeple
Those people who are the happiest in the world, therefore, are the people who are the owners of continuous zikr.
kesintisiz bir şekilde
Continuous zikr is the individual to say the name of Allah in his or her world.
onun dudakları kımıldasa da kımıldamasa da
Either the lips move or not.
hiçbir zaman
When the individual gets to that point, there will be a slight movement of the jaw.
hareketle o kişinin ağzının devamlı
But the individual will be constantly repeating the name of Allah.
kımıldama sadece. Belki hareketle
A very slight movement of the jaw.
sevgili kardeşlerim,
My dear brothers and sisters,
insan olarak yaratıldığımızda hamd etmek ve şükretmek asli görevimiz olmalıdır.
it should be our main duty to be thankful and praise Allah for being created as a human being. We could have been created as a different creature, yet we are created as a human being,
Bize ruh üfürmesi
and we have the Spirit of Allah as Allah
olmuş.
blew that into
Allah'ın
our physical body.
gerçekleştirmişiz.
Then eventually
Bu
we fulfilled the command of Allah and rendered our spirits back to Allah, as Allah is the true owner of that spirit.
hiç kimse tabiyetini gerçekleştirmedikçe
Without taking a pledge of allegiance, nobody's spirit may leave the physical body to go back to Allah.
oysa ki Allah Teala'nın emri var.
Yet Allah Ta'ala has a command.
Rü'i
Allah Ta'ala says, Urji'i ila rabbika.
Rabbine geri dön diyor.
Return back to your Lord, commands Allah Ta'ala, commanding the spirit.
Rü'i
Urji'i ila rabbika.
Rabbine geri dön.
Return back to your Lord.
Bütün ruhlar o kişi istese de istemese
Either the
de
individual wants it or not, all spirits will return back to their Lord.
hayatında Allah'ın güzellikleri kendisine anlatılıp da aklı onlara yaptığı
When
zaman
the beautiful notions of Allah will be explained to the individual, an individual will accept them and take a pledge of allegiance to the murshid,
tek kişinin
and with the pledge of allegiance, spirit will leave the physical body,
bir tane gök
And as the zikr increases, spirit will go through levels of heavens, and at the seventh of the heavens will go through 7 worlds.
Sonra Allah'ın zatına ulaşacak.
And finally will reach Allah.
Allah ile
At the Illin, it will be together with Allah.
sevgili kardeşlerim,
My dear brothers and sisters,
Allah Teala'nın istediği şey açık ve
what Allah wants is very cut and clear.
bize emanet olarak verdiği ruhunu
Allah Ta'ala wants the spirit back as it is given to us as a trust.
ve her doğan kişiye, kadın olsun, erkek olsun,
And to every individual that is
ondan
born, female, male, Allah Ta'ala certainly blows into them from His Spirit. And there is no other creature but human being for Allah to blow into them from His own Spirit.
sevgili kardeşlerim, Allah Teala sizlerden sadece tek bir şey ister,
Allah Ta'ala wants only one thing from you,
mutlu olması.
and that is your own happiness.
Bu hedefe yönelik olarak yaratıldınız.
You are created for that purpose.
Allah Teala hepinize serbest irade verdi.
Yet Allah Ta'ala had given you all free will. Because of that free will,
Dilediğini yapmakta
everybody is free to do whatever they want to.
İşte insanlar var,
Yet there are people.
ömürleri boyunca asla böyle bir şeye teşebbüs etmezler.
They never
Allah'ı
attempt
bilemezler.
to make the wish to reach Allah throughout their lives. If that is the case,
Akıllarına gelmez.
of course they will not be taking a pledge of allegiance to their murshid either.
Hiçbir mürşidi mutlak olarak vardır.
Yet everybody has a designated murshid,
Allah'a ulaşmayı deneyip
designated specifically for them.
de kılar.
If the individual wishes to reach Allah, and in order to find a murshid,
Mutlaka Allah Teala
prays Salatul Hajj, a necessity prayer,
gösterir.
then Allah will certainly show the murshid to that individual.
Mürşidine
Then the individual needs to find that murshid, doesn't matter where that murshid is in the world,
tabi.
and to take a pledge of allegiance to him.
Tabi olduğu anda ne olur?
What happens when the individual takes a pledge of allegiance? The spirit leaves the physical body
Kafireye katılır.
and joins the group of spirits that are on their path to Allah. It goes through 7 of the heavens.
Bir tane
At the 7th of the heavens goes through 7 worlds.
ruh Allah'a geri döner.
And spirit returns back to Allah.
Sevgili kardeşlerim,
My dear brothers and sisters, friends of my life, friends of my heart,
sevgi dolu bir dünyada yaşamak
to live in a world that is full of love,
en büyük servettir.
that is the greatest treasure and wealth that Allah may grant.
Parayla satın alınamaz.
Nobody can purchase happiness and joy.
Bu iç dünya ile alakalı
Happiness is related to your inner world and related to Allah.
sadece ruhunu Allah'a ulaştırmayı dileyenler
Only those who wish to render their spirit back to Allah,
sahip olurlar.
only they may attain such happiness and joy.
Ben üzere kalırlarsa, yani ruhlarını
And if they are just satisfied with delivering their spirit back to Allah, and if they say this is enough for me, then Allah gives half of the world happiness. 7 times 7 equals 49, as there are 7% virtue accumulation at every level of heaven, and along with 2% mercy accumulation before taking a pledge of allegiance to the murshid,
%2 artı %49
2% plus 49% with 51% glory accumulation, spirit of the individual returns back to Allah.
İşte bu vuslat.
That is called buslat.
Ruhun Allah'a ulaşması
Spirits reaching Allah and 51% glory accumulation,
%51'ini
and the individual to have 51% of the world happiness, which is half of the world happiness.
vücudunu teslim ederse
When the individual also submits physical body to Allah, that happiness becomes
50'nin ötesine,
more than 50%.
ne zaman nefsini teslim ederse
When the individual submits soul to Allah,
ulaşacak.
the happiness will be 100%.
Nefsin teslimi daimi zikirle mümkün.
Submission of soul takes place through continuous zikr. And the last submission is the submission of free will to Allah.
Sevgili kardeşlerim,
My dear brothers and sisters,
bir bütün olarak gözünüzün önüne getirdiğinizde
if you put all pictures together as one big picture, then you will realize how much Allah Ta'ala loves human beings.
onun için biz de sizlere rahat rahat söylüyoruz ki
Therefore, I can easily tell you that Allah loves you all, loves you very much.
bu Allah'ın dizaynı içinde
And within the design of Allah,
yaşamak
to live in a world that is full of love is a right for everyone.
bedava değildir.
Yet, it is not free.
Herkes mutluluğu yaşayamaz.
Not everybody can go through that happiness and joy.
Ulaştırmayı dilemeyen hiç kimse
Those who do not wish to render their spirit back to Allah before death, they cannot attain 51% of the world happiness.
Allah'a teslim etmeyen
Those
kimse
who do not submit their physical body to Allah, they cannot have 80% of the world happiness. Those who cannot submit their soul to Allah, they cannot have 100% of the happiness.
bütün bunların çok daha
And submitting free will
güzelliği
is
eder.
a beautiful notion even beyond all. The individual will be under control of Allah then. My dear brothers and sisters,
Bütünlük içinde
within that whole concept,
öylesine güzel ki
everything is so wonderful.
ondan hoşlanmakla başlayan yakınlık hissi
After that, your closeness to Allah that starts with liking Allah,
ve ona
then
hayran olmakla
you love Allah, then you fall in love Allah, and finally it ends with admiration to Allah.
Allah'a
You admire Allah at the end.
sevgili kardeşlerim
My dear brothers and sisters,
Allah'ı tanımak
to get to know Allah
her zaman sizi adım adım mutluluğa ulaştıracak olan bir hedeftir.
that is a concept which will bring you closer and closer to happiness and joy. To like Allah,
Allah'ı sevmek,
to love Allah, to fall in love with Allah, and to admire Allah.
artan miktarda Allah'a karşı olan sevginizin artmasını
That means your ever increasing love towards Allah.
son noktasında iradenin de Allah'a teslimi vardır.
At the last point is the submission of free will to Allah.
İradesini de Allah'a teslim edenler
Those who also submit their free will to Allah,
Allah'ın tasarrufunda.
only they can be under the control of Allah.
Böyle bir şey mümkün müdür?
Is such thing a possibility?
Daimi
Yes, indeed.
sonu
The end of continuous zikr,
varsa
if the individual still has a life to live, the individual will be certainly getting to that point.
Allah'a,
The individual also submits free will to Allah.
o zaman o da her şey çok mu güzel?
Then also that individual says, is everything so wonderful or is it only me feeling that way?
Ben birisi olur.
The individual will be stating that directly from the heart.
Kardeşlerim, bu muhtevanın
My dear brothers and sisters,
parçası
the most important part of this concept is
Allah
love.
insanlara sevmeyi öğütler.
Allah Ta'ala wants people to love.
Durmaz,
Of course, Satan will not stop
etmeyi,
from his work either, and he will ask people to hate
başka insanların sizlere yaptığı kötü kötülüklerden bahseder.
Satan will always talk to you about other people's harming you and ask you to
Arada
take revenge.
hep ruhunuzu, fizik vücudunuzu, nefsinizi
Yet Allah Ta'ala will ask you to submit your spirit, physical body, soul, and free will to Allah.
ifade eder. İşte 3 tane kitaplı din.
There are 3 religions with holy scriptures: Judaism,
Hristiyanlık,
Christianity, and Islam.
3 kitaplı dini de A'dan Z'ye tetkik ettik sevgili.
We looked into each and every one of these holy scriptures, my dear brothers and sisters. And what we found out
Skala çıktı ortaya.
is exactly the same skeleton.
Hristiyanlık önce birincisinden başlayalım.
Let's start with the first one. In Judaism,
Hristiyanlıkta da
in Christianity,
İslam'da da
and Islam,
bunlar 3 kitaplı dini ifade eder.
and these are the mainstream religions with 3 scriptures. And in Torah, Bible, and
temel
Quran,
safa,
the basics are 7 stages and 4 submissions.
birinci safa Allah'a ulaşmak.
The first stage is making the wish to reach Allah.
İkinci safa
The second stage is to take a pledge of allegiance to the Murshid.
safa
The third stage is submission of spirit to Allah. The fourth stage is submission of physical body to Allah.
sin Allah'a
The fifth stage is submission of soul to Allah. Sixth stage is to be pure, being muhlis one. And the seventh stage is also to submit free will to Allah and to complete all submissions.
devlet incelediğimiz zaman
When I looked into Torah, Allah Ta'ala showed me that these 7 stages and 4 submissions are intact within the Torah.
İncil'i incelediğimiz zaman
When I looked into Bible,
testimin orada da mevcut.
Allah Ta'ala also showed me that all these 7 stages and 4 submissions are also in the Bible. Allah showed me these.
İncelediğimiz zaman
And I looked at the Quran. Allah Ta'ala also showed me 7 stages and 4 submissions in the Quran as well.
zaten Kur'an'da da İncil'de de
Then I realized that in the Quran, Bible, and Torah,
Hazreti İbrahim'in Hanif dini olduğunu söylüyor.
Allah Ta'ala indicates this religion is the Hanif religion of Abraham.
3 kitaplı dininde
Hanif religion of Abraham is the basics for all mainstream religions.
Hazreti İbrahim'in
3 religions with scriptures are the Hanif religion of Abraham.
safa ve
And 7 stages and 4 submissions
ruhu
are
için
inclusive in all these 3 religions: submission of spirit, physical body, soul, and free will to Allah.
ise Allah Teala'nın nezdinde Hristiyanlık diye ayrı bir din,
There is no such thing as separate religions in the presence of Allah, such as Judaism, Christianity, and Islam.
söz konusu olan din Hazreti İbrahim'in
Religion in the presence of Allah is the Hanif religion of Abraham,
7 safa ve 4 testinden
with
çıkan.
7 stages and 4 submissions.
Sevgili kardeşlerim,
My dear brothers and sisters,
buraya ulaşıyoruz ki
the point that we get to is that
sadece ve
Allah Ta'ala only wants one thing from you, and that is your own happiness.
bunun formüllerini ve sonuca ulaşma imkanlarını açıklamıştır Allah.
And Allah Ta'ala prescribed the formulas and ways for that, first in Torah, then in Bible, then in the Quran.
Ana çizgilerde esasta yani 7 safa ve 4 teslimde
Within the main core, which is 7 stages and 4 submissions, there are no differences within these 3 religions.
bir teklim vardır diyebiliriz.
We can say there is only one religion, and that is the Hanif religion of Abraham.
O din Musevilerin dinidir.
That is the religion for Jews. That is the religion for Christians.
Din,
That is the religion for Muslims.
bu dinlerin iniş sırasına göre
Within their chronological order, that is exactly the way Allah Ta'ala states. First, there is Judaism, then there is Christianity, then Islam.
ama Hz. Musa Musa da, Hazreti İsa
Yet
da,
Moses,
Hazreti Muhammed
Jesus,
sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem
and Muhammad, peace be upon them,
aynı dinin sahipleri.
they all had the same religion,
İbrahim'in
Hanif religion of Abraham.
Allah Teala'nın
I ask Allah Ta'ala to grant upon you the infinite happiness under the roof of Hanif religion.
sözlerimizi burada
And finish my statements at this point, my dear brothers and sisters,
kardeşlerime
friends of my life, friends of my heart.
sonsuz mutluluklar.
May infinite happiness be yours.
Esselamu aleyküm ve rahmetullahi ve berekatuhu.